Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I am a spiritual medium and intuitive card reader. Today with a message for, I was going to say Leo, Scorpio. I am saying Leo because that factors into your cards later. So this is a really interesting message, and the way that I get these messages is I ask Spirit and my guides to send forth a message that's going to have deep meaning and a lot of significance for you this week to help you navigate the week's challenges. So if at any point you feel compelled to like or subscribe to this channel, that would be wonderful. It really helps when you support the channel, and it helps us stay in touch so that you have the information you need every week to navigate what's coming ahead. So interesting things. I've got like 3/4 of your reading because I pulled it. I got the meaning for the first 2 cards, and then they said you just need to do the video and start talking, which I did, and then I got a phone call which stopped the video. So let's just start. We've got the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords here for the energy around you. So this is the energy of little things, little problems that are easily solvable, but sometimes we get a little bit caught up in them. So it's not things that are really big problems that are going to detain us for a long time, but it's sometimes things that we just need to kind of work through. And you are completely ignoring that. This week we've got the Nine of Cups for how that is. And so the Nine of Cups is you're enjoying yourself. You're so grateful and filled with blessings and the feeling that more good things are coming, and you're just so happy to flow, and you don't even want to look at those tiny little problems. You don't want to look at those tiny little insignificant hangups. But that's not quite right. There's something in that you need to consider. There's a little, like a stopper or a block in your head that you're just kind of wanting to ignore because you're comfortable doing what you do. So let's, like I said, I've got 3/4 of this. So as we talk together, they're going to keep talking to me, and we're going to get the whole story. We've got the Six of Pentacles going into the Hanged Man, and then he ends up in the King of Wands. So what this says to me is that you've got yourself in a comfortable relationship where there is unequal giving and taking. And this is a habitual thing. So this is not just one relationship. This is a pattern that we're talking about where there's either overgiving or there's undergiving. But a lot of the reason for the overgiving is that you have a desire to have the upper hand because it gives you more power. And so that's very attractive to you. And you're so comfortable in this, the Nine of Cups, you're so comfortable in this that you're not willing to really overlook the little things that are holding you back because of it. Because you still want to do this, there's part of you that can't quite use your full energy to the biggest extent. That's why it's a 9 and not a 10. And I'm also being compelled to talk to you about the original tarot deck. In the original tarot deck, the Nine of Cups is sometimes gluttony or drunkenness, but vices is essentially what we're saying. So this comfort is almost like a vice for you. And I love this word vice because it holds you in a grip, like a vice grip is a clamp. And what's going on here? We're stuck. Right? So this vice is becoming your vice, and I'm trying to give you advice to get out of it. So, okay, I'll stop playing with the words. Because what's really interesting to me is this Nine of Cups likes to just go with the flow. You like this setup of the status quo, which you've gotten used to, this earthly exchange of energies where you're giving too much, and you find yourself in these situations that you don't seem to be able to get out of. Like these people depend on you, or you find yourself you have to show up, and it's just kind of like you feel like you don't really have an option because the precedent is set and you're there. Or it's also just perhaps this has been a habit for too long. I am comforted by the fact that it's the Eight of Swords because that means it's a temporary thing that you're going to be able to get out of with enough courage and knowledge. So don't be too despairing about that. So what am I going back to? The Nine of Cups is flowing in the water, and that's where you like to be, Scorpio. You love to be flowing in those emotions. You especially love them to be flowing inside of you where no one can see. But there's something bigger there. Your guides, my guides, everyone is asking you to surrender to that King of Wands. Now, what does that mean? Surrender to that King of Wands. The King of Wands is the opposite of that Cups energy. Instead of just going along with things and being happy with wherever the tide takes him, he makes things happen. I don't know if you can really see this, but the energy is that he's so bright, he's so forceful, he's so willful that the world just kind of cleaves to him. It's like the world, he's Moses and the world is the waters parting for him. So he's got an idea. He's got exactly what he wants to have happen. He's got the charm and the charisma to make all of that part ways. So his vision, his creativity, his, they're saying mojo, gets to be done upon the earth because he is courageous enough and believes in himself enough to get this to happen. And he's willing to take action. That's what's not going on here. We're not willing to take action. We've got all of these cards. This one is stuck. This one is flowing in the water, just having a great time. And this one is bound up in this relationship of the unequal give and take. But they're asking you to surrender to a bigger part of yourself, which is all about action, all about stepping forward with the dominance over your environment. And the word dominance is also funny to me because it reminds me of dominion or domicile. He's literally at home taking risks. He's literally at home taking action and stepping forward in a new way and being okay with people following him. And I think that's the scary thing, is stepping out and having people follow you. It's not as comfortable as being yoked in those relationships where, you have the upper hand and they're forced to follow you because they're dependent on you, versus having that vision that other people suddenly awaken to and want to follow because they also believe in the strength of your message. There's no strings attached with this guy. He's so independent that he can just go wherever he wants to go. And people follow him because they believe in him. He believes in himself and they believe in him. So it's a different it's just a different way of being. I really see this on one side. We've got the vices on one side and we've got the freedom on the other side. And this is a moment of, it's like the scales are tipping for you. I'm seeing this in my head. The scales are tipping for you. This isn't going to work for you anymore. That comfort is going to feel no longer comfortable. You're ready to step up, and I'm going to say roar, because we've got Leo the lion as this is kind of the card that or the constellation, the astrological sign that represents this energy. So it's really about being okay with that idea of you actually get to step out into that light and have other people follow you on the merit of your light. There's no longer the strings attached, trying to pull people with you. This is that trusting that charisma and that magnetism of yours, which is yours, Scorpio. I know you're magnetic. So, but it allows people to come of their own free will because you've surrendered to that bigger, lighter part of yourself that's here to do your mission, and that's here to open the doors, and that's here to light the way for other people. So I know this may be big and scary, but it's going to feel less comfortable to stay where it has been comfortable this week because your soul is asking for something else. So if you need a little bit of follow-up or you have something else on your mind, I am now booking my one-on-one readings again. And you can find out the information below in the description through my website. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one.